a will to kind of bring the model that had been working down south. Show races on the red card were started in 1996 by two Newcastle United supporters who saw the potential of the power of football being used to educate and campaign against racism, both in football but also in wider society. And that had been working really well down there for 7 or 8 years. So there was a will and just a motivation to bring that model up to Scotland and get things working. And it was a gentleman called Tony Higgins, who had been an ex-player. He worked with the Scottish Professional Footballers Association, and he had connections with the campaign down south, and was keen to bring it up to Scotland, and working together with the Teachers Union, the EIS, and they looked at bringing the model up here. So there was no particular incident that happened.
So what work has Show Racism, the Red Card, done in Scotland to combat the problem?
Okay, well, we have a campaign within football. We run the campaign that challenges any incidences of racism within football, and most people know us from that, particularly our fortnight action, which is the concerted work over the last fortnight in October as part of the Football Against Racism in Europe action, and that's Scotland's version of that. The Show Racism, the Red Card have 2 weeks in October, but as wider than that, we also run a lot of education, and really the campaigns about kickstarting and getting the idea in people's heads that we should show racism, the red card. On top of that, there is, we run over the next year. Over the course of the year, we're running education. Last year, for instance, we worked with 13,000, mainly young people, but also adults who worked with them too. We educated with them on the recognising racism and knowing that what the dangers of racism are, and also equipping them with the skills to challenge it safely.
So how successful has that work been?
I think we can sit back and be quite proud of ourselves that we have very, very good reports, and in one newspaper report, the footballers themselves were talking about that we'd obviously come a long way in the last 10 years, and I think that's generally the sense that we get, that we have done a lot to combat racism. However, that doesn't mean that we can sit back and take a back seat.
Yeah.
We definitely can't be complacent. We've always kind of maintained that what happens in football is more a reflection of what happens in wider society, and we're also very aware that racism shifts and it changes, and that we need to be aware of what those changes are, if attitudes are shifting, and we need to be constantly challenging any myths that are out there, and challenging stereotypes, and constantly aware of what's going on out there.
Yeah, as you say, it impacts on wider society. How did the recent Yaya Toure incident impact your own views on the World Cup being held in Russia?
I think what it's done for an organisation such as ourselves, it's really highlighted that there is the work that needs to be done. Obviously, we're 5 years away from Russia holding the World Cup. I certainly think that that gives us an opportunity to do a lot of work. There's obviously some values of the situation that happened there. It was absolutely horrendous, and it felt maybe 25 years ago that we would have had situations like that within the UK, within Scotland even. So it does really kind of give you the sense that there's a lot of work that needs